he always brought home I don't know how big it was, but a sack of flour. And Grandma, we ate a lot of bread. We lived on bread.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and well, out of that sack of flour, I forget how big it was, how many pounds, but you got quite a few loaves of bread.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, we had bread to eat anyway. And I remember kids saying, oh, they didn't like the crust. Boy, I can remember we ate everything,
Mm-hmm.
crust and everything, because you didn't waste anything.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And how far was school then, Mom? Did you have to walk a ways from your house?
Huh?
Did you have to walk a ways from where you lived in St. Benedict to school each
Oh,
day?
yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, the one farmhouse that we lived in, is the district, I guess, ended there, so I went to St. Benedict for, I don't remember, I'd have to look at report cards. Anyway, it must have been a year and a half. Then we had to move across the road to a different house because the one we were in, that farm was sold or something.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved across the road. Well, from that house, I walked 4 miles.
One way?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, raining, snowing, or whatever. I walked in the morning,
Huh?
back at night. Yeah.
Wow, that must have took you a while.
Well,
How long was the school day?
huh?
How long was the school day? Did the school start at like 8 in the morning or?
No, I think 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember. Probably it was out at 3 or 3:30, maybe something, because most of the kids were walking.
Mm-hmm.
So, and well, a lot of the kids were farm kids, and so they got home then in time to help with the evening milking,
Mm-hmm.
because they would help their dads with the farm work
Mm-hmm.
then. So, yeah, I walked 4 miles. Boy, I tell you, sometimes if somebody was going into Jordan and they knew who I was, they would stop and give me a ride,
Right. Uh-huh.
because they had to go past that
Uh-huh.
school. But other times, I walked all the time, and I cried every day. I hated that. I was scared, and like Chris and Jerry said, yeah, and nowadays you wouldn't think of,
Yeah, sending your kids.
yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you have a story about when that blizzard hit? Remember that blizzard in the early 1900s?
The
Armistice Day?
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you have a story about the Armistice Day blizzard?
Oh, I know that it lasted a couple of days,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people were stranded all over,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people froze to death and died because they couldn't get home.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, oh, it snowed and it snowed and it snowed, and you think it was the end of the world already because it wasn't stopping.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a bad time.
So were you at home, do you remember, when it started snowing? You weren't.
I just don't. It seems to me we lived in town by then.
Okay.
Because we must have, because the school kids, the people in town were asked if they had any spare rooms, any beds, anything, if they could take in some school kids,
Oh.
because there was no way those kids could get back home to the farms,
Uh-huh.
So my dad brought 3 girls home,
Okay.
and I think they were there about 3 days
Wow.
before, and there was no school then because they couldn't. So I think they were there about 3 days before some of the roads got open then.
Mm-hmm.
But kids were scattered all over, the country kids, because they were lucky, the
Yeah.
town helped out.
Yeah.
And those days, hardly nobody had a phone. Maybe there were, hardly none.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of those kids couldn't even call, home.
So their parents probably didn't know where they were.
Yeah, they didn't know where they were, and well, that was pretty upsetting there for a while. They did,
Mm-hmm.
that where are they, and I wish they were home, and when are they gonna get home, and
Mm-hmm.
well, and before the plows got around, it took quite a while because they probably didn't have very many plows those days,
Mm-hmm.
and the snow by then was so deep. I remember in town when they plowed the streets, the snowbanks that they plowed, they were more than halfway up the light pole.
Wow.
It was that high.
Wow.
Yeah. So you could imagine out in the country where the level land, how it blew, and
Yeah.
people were drifted in for
Huh.
a few,
Uh-huh.
a few days or more. So, I remember sometimes when we lived at St.